What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today I want to talk about SRL, and I'm going to ask for your opinions about the subject as well. And I think it's important to be talking about SRL right now because with the release of Destiny 2 staring us in the face, I do expect it to still come out in September of 2017. I think it's important feedback for Bungie to hear on whether this event is a worthwhile addition to Destiny. Now, obviously, there are some criticisms of SRL in that, I bought a shooter and you gave me a racing game, right? I'll be honest with you. I like SRL. I think it's a pretty fun diversion from the normal gameplay loop of Destiny. That is, shoot things, pick up loot, shoot more things, pick up loot. Now, I really like that gameplay loop of Destiny. I think it's one of the best shooters out there. It just feels good, and it's really fun to pick up that loot. That dopamine drip of getting cool new gear is really fun, and I think it's smart that they added that to SRL in a very big way this time around. It's a very rewarding experience right now as far as loot goes, racing in SRL. You're going to see a lot of drops, you can see some primary weapons, you'll see a lot of armor. There's all sorts of things that you can get out of SRL. Some great shaders. You can see I'm wearing the Midas shader right now, and I think this thing is dope as hell. This pure gold shader just looks phenomenal to me. And I'm really happy that I competed in SRL and I got this shader. And I think there's a lot of different items in the SRL that are like that. But is the actual gameplay loop, the racing action of SRL, something that you want to see return in Destiny 2? Do you like the diversion of a different type of gameplay inside of Destiny? Is that something that you want to see continue when Destiny 2 comes out? Now, obviously with Destiny 2, I would expect that they are very much going to focus on the pure gameplay, right? It's going to remain a shooter. Destiny 2 is going to be very much focused around, the act of shooting, the act of exploration, the act of getting loot and equipping your character and upgrading your character. And I hope in my heart of hearts that they double down on the loot aspect and the RPG aspects of Destiny 2. But I do kind of like this little, I'm going to call it a side piece, this little, extra piece that they have provided twice now in the SRL. I think it's a fun thing to do with your Destiny friends and in the Destiny universe that maybe isn't as fleshed out as a full racing game, but it's definitely a lot more fleshed out than it was last year. Having 2 new maps for a grand total of 4 maps definitely makes it feel a little deeper. I'd like to see the physics of the Sparrows adjusted a little bit. You can see, I'm often rubbing and racing in this game mode a little bit, and it doesn't feel particularly consistent. The physics don't feel particularly consistent when I am in Sparrow to Sparrow contact, or even when I'm hitting gates, stuff like that. So while I definitely like to see SRL improved, what I'm wondering is if this is something that should come back in Destiny 2, or events like this, if they should return in Destiny 2. Should we have ship battles in Destiny 2? Should Sparrow Racing League come back in Destiny 2? Should there be a card game similar to Gwent in Destiny 2? Are these side distractions good for Destiny? Now, I personally believe they are. They give you something else to do, something else to occupy your time while still feeling like you are progressing your character and progressing your playtime inside Destiny. And I like that. I think that is fun. The argument that, I bought a shooter and you gave me a racing game is a valid one, though. I can see where that one comes from, and I understand it. And it's not a particularly complex racing game either. Some of the bounties require you to do a lot of Sparrow racing. I think the minimum you can get away with is 25 races to complete your Sparrow Racing book, or the new book that has Sparrow Racing achievements in it. And that's a lot of Sparrow Racing. If you don't really like Sparrow Racing, but you feel compelled to do that book, that can be quite a grind, and it can be an unenjoyable grind. Sparrow Racing can be somewhat frustrating. The matchmaking in this game mode is, in my opinion, very severe. It's definitely skill-based matchmaking, and you definitely get matched up against people who are at your skill level, and sometimes it seems above your skill level. So it can be a bit brutal to get those races done and never come in first place, right? To always be coming in third or fourth or fifth or even sixth place. That can feel a bit punishing. But I do like the fact that with SRL, Bungie has shown that there is other aspects to the world of Destiny. There are other things to do, other ways to explore the universe of Destiny, and I'd like to see them in Destiny 2 and beyond, maybe Destiny 3, 4, wherever. I'd love to see them expand on that. A lot of people have been asking for ship-to-ship battles, or at least let us fly our ship. And how cool would it be if, maybe Destiny 2 has much larger patrol zones, and you can actually fly your ship through those patrol zones and land where you want. Maybe you go into space and there's actually ship-to-ship fighting. You can actually fight the Hive or the Fallen in space with your ship. Now, some people might complain that, I want to play the shooter. Bungie makes great shooters. They don't make space battle games. They don't make racing games. They don't make card games. They make shooters, and that's what I want Bungie to focus on. And I can understand that. That is a valid argument. But it is nice to spend some time in Destiny that is doing something else, and I think that is a valid way to go. Every once in a while, the topic of a second screen experience will pop up on Reddit or the Bungie forums, where people are asking, hey, give us some things to do while we're not sitting in front of our console, something on our mobile phone, our iPhone, or our Android phone, or our tablets that, we can do inventory management now, but imagine if you could do like a little side quest with your ghost and earn rewards for your Destiny character while you're not at home. I think that would actually be really cool. Obviously, I don't think that would be a shooter. I don't think shooters work well on touchscreen devices. In fact, they don't seem to work well on mobile devices whatsoever. However, it would be fun to have something that you could do to progress your Destiny experience. Maybe while you're standing in line at the DMV or on the bus going to work or in the subway. Stuff like that would be really cool. And that is kind of how I see SRL. No, you can't do it on your mobile phone, but it's just another way to progress your Destiny character. So that's kind of how I feel about the SRL. I don't actually love the mechanics of the racing, but I do enjoy my time with it for the most part. Sometimes I find it a little bit frustrating due to the physics of it or the matchmaking. But for the most part, I find it to be just like a fun side project, something I can do without getting stressed out about a raid team or PvP or Trials of Osiris. It's just a light and fun way to spend some time while also still getting some pretty damn cool loot for my characters in Destiny. And I'm wondering what you guys think about it. Is it a waste of resources for Destiny or Bungie to be developing these kind of side projects for Destiny? Would you rather see them really focusing on the core of Destiny, adding more story, adding more strikes, more missions, more raids, bigger DLCs? Or do you like this kind of side distraction like SRL? Would you like to see Bungie provide more of these in Destiny 2 and beyond? I'm really curious to see how you guys feel about this one. Those who watch the Beastly Thoughts video game podcast that we do on Sunday nights will know that I have been very much addicted to The Witcher 3. This game totally passed me by in 2015. I picked it up for cheap on, I think it was a Steam sale, or I got it somewhere, and all of a sudden I just got completely addicted to it over the last few months. I've put in around 50 or 60 hours in the last few months, and similarly to SRL and Destiny, Witcher 3 has a game mode called Gwent, where it's a card game, and it was so successful and so popular that they're actually releasing a side project, a standalone project for Gwent, and you can download that and play that as its own thing. So it's not part of the main story of The Witcher. It's just a fun card game that you can play that was originally developed for The Witcher 3. I don't think that SRL is going to go that far. I don't think we'll see a standalone release of Sparrow Racing League, but it is interesting how these things can develop and become their own project on its own. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this topic. I really am interested in hearing, I want to get a pulse on what you guys feel about SRL, because I'm a little bit up in the air about it myself. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.